Today, we're diving into one of the most important areas these days. It's automating revenue with AI and intent signals. And I'm joined by Jérémy Grandillon, founder of TC9, a company that actually helps SaaS businesses automate the revenue. I'm not sure even will be there like a moment where AI can actually sell from the very beginning till the closing until there is a human touch, and I'm thinking of those high ticket sales, no, not just the small packages. So if you have to start from scratch, what's the steps which you have to do in order to do it properly?
I would say if you're just getting started and you're in the beginning or all of this, you shouldn't even think of automation. You should just do the thing manually many times, do the mistakes.
Welcome to a new episode of Leaders of Growth. I'm Milan Savov, CEO of SmartClick, where we help B2B SaaS companies get to the top of AI searches and Google and turn visibility into high quality organic leads. Today, we're diving into one of the most important areas these days. It's automating revenue with AI and intent signals. And I'm joined by Jérémy Grandillon, founder of TC9, a company that actually helps SaaS businesses automate the revenue generating parts of their go-to-market strategy, like outbound, inbound follow-up, lead scoring, website visitor identification, and everything in between. So, Jérémy, welcome to the Leaders of Growth podcast.
Thanks, Milan. Happy to be here with you. Gonna be fun.
I'm glad that you accepted my invitation. So, can you introduce shortly? Maybe I missed something in my presentation to the people who are listening for you first time.
Yeah, no, of course, no problem. So I'm Jérémy Grandillon. You said it perfectly, by the way. Thank you.
Oh, I'm glad.
I'm the CEO and co-founder at TC9. So as you said, we are a GTM automation agency, and we help our clients to automate their processes to generate revenue. So that's exactly what we did. And my background, I've been in sales for the last 8 years, from being an SDR myself to head of sales to now running a business that's helping those teams. So yeah, that's the short version of my introduction.
That's great. Can we dive deep a bit for what you mentioned? You've been in sales from SDR to head of sales, head of marketing. Can you tell me what made you realize that automation could actually change how companies generate revenue these days?
Yeah, actually, I've been, as I said, doing it myself. So I realized how many tasks there are to do proper outbound prospecting, for example, or finding the right angle to talk to someone, to prepare a call, all those things that salespeople and even marketers, like finding the right angle for a campaign. All those things take a lot of time. And I've always been interested in tech in general. Before being in the sales world 8 years ago, I was an IT consultant, actually. So I was working in tech, and since day one, I was always interested in removing the friction, because it's just annoying to do. To be honest, the first reflex was like, okay, I'm repeating many times the same task. Can I do something about it? So yeah, back in the days when I started, 2018, something like that, some automation tools existed, obviously less advanced than today, but you could already send emails and use variable like first name and stuff like this, which was already a first step into this. Instead of sending or writing, copy pasting emails, I was working in Excel sheets and filling variables to then put in the tool that automate the sending. So that was, I would say, the first step. And then when I evolved being a head of sales and having a team doing those things, I knew how annoying it could be. In terms of, I would say, productivity, you want to automate as much as you can, as long as it stays in the quality standard that you want. And also for SDR and people comfort. If you want to make their life a little more easier, a little more comfortable, that's super helpful. So that started here, and then this history happened. ChatGPT released, and those automation tools with variables became intelligent, and that's where I was like, okay, this is next level. This is what I need to do. I need to focus on.
Yeah, there are a lot of tools right now, but I think there should be like a boundary. What should be automated, what should be personalized, and so on. So I think this is the battle right now, because we receive a lot of messages during the day, and we have like pretty high criteria what to open and where to actually reply.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
I see the AI in general as assisting salespeople, not replacing salespeople.
Yeah. I'm not sure even will be there like a moment where AI can actually sell from the very beginning till the closing, until there is a human touch. And I'm thinking of those high ticket sales, no, not just the purchasing like these small packages.
Okay, for sure.
Great. So let's discuss about your company. If you had to explain what TC9 actually, what's the main problem which you solve for your customers? Just to know you better and the company.
Yeah, actually, we have iterated many times, and we tried many models. But I like to describe ourselves as consultants that do the thing. So what we want to do with our clients is to help them embrace this change, because AI is such a buzzword. There are so many things that can be done, and so many mistakes to be done as well.
Yeah.
So we want to leverage our expertise, as I said, 8 years in sales, in B2B sales, to say, okay, this is where we can be helpful. This is the type of task that you want to automate. This is the type, and as you were describing, the type of task that your human team should be doing, because the value is not the same. And so that's why I like to present ourselves like consultant, like helping with the strategy, how to prioritize things, and then execute on this. We are also doers, and we are doing it for ourselves, doing it for our clients. Once we know where to start, once we know what to improve, and what's the strategy, what's the roadmap, then we execute on it. So we focus on the GTM. GTM is a keyword as well. But what I like to say is like revenue generative processes.
Yeah, so you're not just like a consultant who can detect things, but also you are helping them to actually implement what you're detecting in that phase.
Absolutely.
And what's like maybe the biggest manual or partially manual process which companies don't realize that they can actually do with the automations?
Yeah, that could be many things. I think there is still some skepticism, which I understand definitely, on AI capacities, and sometimes they might think, and I've been there myself, like especially in the beginning, like, okay, this thing I do is a bit annoying, but that's my intelligence, that's valuable. I'm looking for this specific thing to put in my message. I'm looking for this specific criteria to make sure that they are my target, etc. And I would say one wrong belief or false belief is to think that AI can't do it. Or the opposite is also a mistake, like they can do everything. AI. So I would say the key is to have a good understanding of what the model can do, and also understand that in what we do, we replicate and create and automate processes, workflows. So that means that it has to come from a human process first. And then we make this automated and improve it, more data, more volume, better quality, etc. Which means that we need the humans to break it down in small pieces to replicate with AI. And as you said, some things we don't want to replicate, like maybe we'd come to it at someday, but I'm personally not a big fan of closing with AI. Maybe small tickets offers you can close in a chat. But when it comes to higher value, you want to talk to someone, you want the trust feeling is only human to human. So I don't know if I really answered your question. I'm all over the place, but
You mentioned something about wrong beliefs or limiting beliefs to these founders. Do you know why they actually are not embracing the change much earlier, maybe, or what should happen for them to understand that, okay, this is the way that technology will evolve, so they can just adapt to it much faster than just waiting years and years.
Yeah, I think it's changing. I think it's the classic, adoption curve that we know. So they are the early adopters, like nerds like me, super excited about those things and trying everything and seeing, okay, this is not working, this is working, cool. But I would say in general, if you are in a bigger company with more responsibilities, not just trying to experiment things, you don't want to risk it too much. So you would like to see more concrete results. And
how someone else will implement this and works for them, then we can apply.
Yeah, exactly. And I understand that, it's the normal curve of adoption, I would say. So I would say that's part of it. There is some skepticism about that. Also that as this is, coming from almost nowhere. I mean, we know that it comes from the 50s, etc., the AI in general, but ChatGPT exploded so fast that many people have tried Gen AI, like as stuff, business stuff to ChatGPT, and were disappointed with the output. I think it's changing, but as they have a bad experience with, like, okay, I've tried it, it sucked. They don't really trust it to be autonomously automated, which is the next level of the same thing. So yeah, it's a mix of all of this. I think it's normal, but also we are reaching a certain point. It's almost that's ChatGPT released end of 2022. So yeah, 3 years in, the technology has evolved so fast. People has evolved as well, and we're reaching a point where more and more people understand that we can actually do intelligent automation with these tools.
Yeah, but the thing that you mentioned, that people are not satisfied with the output, I think it actually depends a lot from the input which you're giving to the as a prompting, what kind of context it has. So after that, if you feed your GPT with your model with proper data and prompt like a pro, it will give you better output, not just some generic.
Absolutely. And I think people understand this more and more. So that's why I was mentioning, like, it comes from the human team. First, we break down into small pieces what's working for them, and we use that with the model and the automations. And I would say you mentioned the data, the input, but I would say it's becoming even more important in 2026. Like, what's the next step of this? Now that we understood that the input has to be clean and the instruction has to be super precise and everything has to be in good quality.
Exactly.
If you want those things to work together as a system, the next thing is to get the context right, which means that not only your automation and this workflow needs to be super clean, but also your entire environment. We were talking about this with my co-founder this morning. If you want to get your CRM as the good example of this, if the CRM is dirty but you have a great workflow, then when the workflow will rely on the CRM, it will lose its impact. But if everything is updated, if everything is enriched in almost real time, then you reach a certain high quality level.
Yeah, exactly. And as I know, you focus specifically on automating activities that generate revenue, actually. So can you share what are like top 3 workflows, 2-3 workflows that actually companies should start automating first when it comes to this revenue generation?
Okay, top three is difficult. It depends on the companies and their context, of course. But I have a few classics that I like. We can talk about website visitors, for example. Website visitors is one. So from website visitor, someone visiting your page, you can, with some tools, identify them on a personal level. And then the automation and the AI automation can see these people and qualify them, filter them, define if they are your targets. If it's a competitor visiting your website, you're not really interested in trying to have a conversation with them. Same if it's your grandma supporting you. But if it's a potential client, then you would be interested in knowing more. Okay, they have seen my pricing page twice or 3 times. That's interesting, good signal. And then you can move forward from there. Like, okay, we know this person is interested in our website. We can do additional research, and that's where you can do what a sales team would do, what an SDR would do. Like, okay, we know they are in the right target. Are they in the right timing? So whatever what you're selling, maybe if you're selling something related to physical location, let's say as an example, you can get your AI agents to search like, okay, this guy from this company, you check news and you see that they opened a new office somewhere recently. So that's a double strong signal. So they visited your website and they opened a location which is, connected to your offer. That's great signal. So now you can say, okay, I want to reach out to this person, get another workflow to find their email address, to find their phone number, to find additional information if needed, and then take action. And actually, at the end of this, you can, of course, automate an email or something like that, but you can also just push a notification to your salespeople and say, this prospect is super, super hot, super warm, at least. Give this person a call. And then you're having a very good collaboration between your automation workflow and your sales team that's leveraging it. So that's one example. You asked me 3, but I was super long, so I can.
Yeah, it's fine. I have just like a sub question here. So you mentioned that you will detect website visitors and like qualify them, have some criteria, what pages are visiting, is the timing right? And then after that, you have like automation for sending emails and maybe a LinkedIn message, but also you give signals to the sales team to actually have a call. So you're like building more awareness for you to those people. And then when they get on a call, it's like you're already in their minds, in top of their minds.
Oh yeah, you can combine all of this. You can combine what I said and absolutely, yeah. You want to, anyway, we know that sales are made most of the time with multiple touch points, so you want to multiply them for sure.
Does that actually excludes the SDR from the whole process? So you don't need someone who can scrape, contact them, because you already have some mechanism that actually do the outreach by themselves.
Yeah, that's funny because I was writing a LinkedIn post about the SDR role just before joining this podcast, and I think for SDRs the role is designed wrong, in my opinion, because we are asking one person to do 2 different jobs at the same time. We are asking SDRs to do data engineering, data operations, call it how you want, finding those contacts, searching for information, enriching the CRM, building lists, all those tasks that I mentioned before should be automated. And the last part of SDR job that we kind of forget is to actually book meetings. And in certain teams and in certain organizations, do some meetings, pre-qualification meetings, to make sure that we are talking to the right person. So basically having conversations. And we realize when you zoom out on this that they are spending so much time on the data side of this job that they are not doing much in the booking and the conversation part.
Yeah.
So I would say the evolution of SDRs should be to remove these things from them, and we can give these tasks to GTM engineers, would be the automation that we do. And so they can focus on getting the output of this, more volume, better quality, less annoying to do as well, better comfort, and focus on the conversation part. And then, give the super hot list to the AEs, phone numbers, whatever, and be this in between crucial part of the chain that's just getting into conversation as much as possible. And also the feedback loop. We often forget. We can automate those things. Nobody, I don't know salespeople, and I definitely wasn't the best with CRM, who likes to do data entry all day long. But if you can synchronize, your meeting recorder, you can synchronize whatever, you can use the MCP to communicate with this instead of doing yourself the things. Then your feedback is accelerated as well. So if the SDR gets 10 times with the same objection and this information is captured by the system, then you know that the automation can be updated and you can, in your whatever email sequence, add this objection already. So you improve super fast. Sorry, I'm getting excited.
Yeah, but For example, when you're a bit smaller, you mentioned AE, you mentioned BDR, you mentioned SDR, you mentioned plus all of this automation which should happen before. Where you should actually start, like with all of these things, and
so
just
in general, no, sorry, continue.
Yeah, because you will have to hire more people with different expertise, manage them, and also have all of these things prepared even before they start with the process. So if you have to start from scratch, what's the steps which you have to do in order to do it properly?
Yeah, I like the question. I would say if you're just getting started and you're in the beginning or all of this, you shouldn't even think of automation. You should just do the thing manually many times, do the mistakes. Because if you start with automation, you will do the same mistakes, but you would 10x the mistakes. So that's maybe not a great investment. So I would say any whatever you're doing anyway, sales role or something else, do it manually first. So that also means that you need just a salesperson doing the process from A to Z. Once you have something that works, then you can start thinking of automation. And I would say instead of the past versus the future, let's say, instead of hiring more people, more sales reps to do more of that, you would hire a GTM engineer to automate the boring tasks. And so you need basically less salespeople, but they are doing only sales stuff. Versus before, you hired more people, more salespeople to do more of everything, which is not optimized, at least not today. So I would start with that.
Yeah. Okay. So we discussed before the identifying the website visitors, and what happens if you have them but they like never fill the form? What's like the next step out of it?
The example I was giving is without form. So there are tools that allow you to detect them even if they are not filling any form, and that relies on cookie technology and IP identification, those nerdy things that some other great nerds have done for us, so we can just use the benefit of it. And of course, it depends where they come from. So in the US, you can identify people on the personal level without asking them anything, more or less.
Yeah.
It's not the case in Europe, for example, with GDPR regulation, but there are also other ways. So you can then cross different signals and data points to say, okay, we know that someone from this company visited our website, and we also know that this company, this person from this same company has visited your LinkedIn profile page, for example, or something like that. So you can cross data and get to the same result in the end.
That was like my next question. How do you actually combine these data signals into scoring the leads? But you partially give my answer. Maybe you can walk us through the logic behind how to set up like a good leading scoring system for leads.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's crucial, especially if you want to automate things. The scoring grid should be very precise, so you can route leads in the right buckets internally and take the right action with the right, facing the right type of prospect. So I would say to do it right, there are some classics like the demographics. Is this company big enough for us? Is this role? Is it this person a decision maker? All those things that are pretty common when you work on your targeting and defining your ICP. So I would say all of these apply for your scoring for sure. And then I would say the alpha play, or the factor X, we can make the difference, is what we could say special, relevant to you only data, or let's say, how can we say this? Like very unique data points that are relevant to you only. And for this, you can give like a strong score share in your scoring. So for example, I was mentioning, like, if your offer makes sense with physical locations, knowing if this prospect is concerned by a new office opening is an alpha play, is a crucial data point that's relevant for you only, and that would make a big difference in your scoring. So I would say apply the ICP demographic classic stuff, make it the more precise and accurate possible, and then search for unique data points that are relevant only for you. And then you have a solid, strong scoring system for your business, I think.
Yeah, that's great. So as I understand you well, you just try to, for example, the thing which you mentioned with if someone is looking for an office, if they're in the local and you detect on the website that it's local visitor, so you score him higher on that scale. But you have also other criteria which has to be like good enough. So the sales team just reach out to that person.
Yeah, exactly. If you want a scenario, you would be looking at, okay, we know that our offer is interesting for companies with more than 500 people, and our ICP is the head of marketing. Fake example. Then you can attribute points in the scoring depending on those criteria, and then you have different actions. So, okay, from super high score, we do phone call. We want to be very close and human with them. In between, we just send DMs on LinkedIn or emails maybe. And if they are very low in the scale, then maybe we just want to nurture them, send them resources, do more marketing action with them.
That totally makes sense.
Yeah.
And when it comes to SaaS companies, do you have like a maybe list what are the best intent signals which founders should actually pay attention more, and they don't do that right now?
Big question. I believe in SaaS industry, the website is quite crucial. You want them to click and try the tool or get in touch with you anyway. So website visit would be one for sure. I also think that one great advantage in the SaaS world is when there is some founder-led growth. So having a personal brand for the founder, I would say, is still today an advantage. And then you can think of many plays based on that. So for example, when I post LinkedIn content, I have some automated workflows that are tracking everything that's happening, and I can identify and qualify people who like, comment, see my profile on LinkedIn. So you can add to the pipeline and also combine those data points that we were talking about. In the example, I was saying like, okay, this guy visited my website and also my profile page, LinkedIn page. Maybe that's something happening here.
Like a cross match.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So just to summarize what we discussed by now, I think the most focus was on like website visitors, get their signals there, see how they're navigating maybe through the website, check that intent signals, and try to find out what's the best way to reach them. If there are more signals, just pick up the phone. If there are less signals, just do some message. If they're very low intent, just send them some free resources.
And there are also, it depends on the market. If the SaaS is very small ticket, maybe you want to do more marketing stuff and less phone calling. That depends, of course. One other that I like for SaaS might be reviews on website like G2 and stuff like that. You can track your own reviews, but you can also track your competitors' reviews or companies or tools that are correlated to yours. Like, I don't know if you're doing what example? If you're selling content software, if you're making a content software, you might be interested in looking at something related to content which is not directly competitor with you. So you can say, hey, if you're interested in this, you might probably be interested in that too, which is your offer. So I think reviews in the SaaS world is interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get back about your experience in the past. You worked as a sales, marketing, and RevOps. So can you share us some experience maybe where you were in these companies, which actually they waste the most time and opportunity in maybe some processes, and what are the mistakes which we have to avoid? And you have the experience about it.
Yeah. So my own experience, I've been in two companies, two software companies actually, and one was we had great luck to have a strong inbound channel. So the job was more like qualification, make sure that they are at the right stage, worth a demo, more or less. So I would say there was back in the time no AI, a lot of time spent on qualifying, which I think now can be almost fully automated, if not fully automated. That would be one. So if you are lucky to have good inbound channels, think about automating this. Can be the forms you mentioned, can be the visits, can be the demos, can be many things. Also, like all the marketing initiatives, if you have a strong inbound, like you do a webinar, that's also something you can activate automatically, removing the noise, removing the competitors visiting your event, your supporters, your family, your colleagues, whatever, and get only the right. Also, quick example for the webinar. Many times people just click the button, they click the Google thing, whatever, and you end up with a lot of personal emails after an event, a webinar like this. There are now tools that help and allow to connect, because you can't really reach out. It's actually not allowed by GDPR and some regulation in the US. You can't reach out to personal email, but you can reach out to pro emails. And there are tools now that are finding pro emails based on personal email. So that's
the connection between these two accounts.
Yeah, and that's interesting.
Probably the same with the events. For example, we were on a lot of events past year, and we have a lot of emails, but that qualifying part actually is the same. If you don't get in touch with people, you don't know, are they high quality leads. So probably same thing.
So you could have a few workflows to do that for you. Yes.
Yeah, that's great. I will ask you about another mistake, which maybe you noticed or maybe not, but you can tell your experience. What's something that companies try, like when they try to automate their go-to-market process on their own? What are the biggest mistakes which are happening in that stage, in that process?
I would have a similar answer as I said before, which is, I would say, in terms of maturity of the process you want to automate. I've seen this many times. You want to automate new stuff. You say, okay, we are not, let's say, multiple scenarios. Let's say you're not doing cold emails. You want to do cold emails, and you start with hiring a GTM agency to do it for you. Could work, but as long as you have some either strong hypothesis or tested other channels, otherwise you're automating something you don't know. So I would say that's one thing. Sometimes you have also problems with, I would say, with bigger companies a bit more. They are mature on their processes, but the data hygiene is terrible. I've seen this many times. The CRM is actually very, very crucial in those systems because it becomes the center of it. So everything that you automate communicates in one place, which is your CRM. And if it's too messy, or if you don't have anyone to make sure that it's maintained at least, you will build workflows, you will build automation on not solid foundation. So that would be also a good thing to have an eye on. Like, okay, we have automation workflows that are doing the work for us, super cool stuff, saving time, better data, whatever. But if you don't have the foundation piece, which is the CRM, that can be tricky. So yeah, I would say process maturity and data hygiene are two important points.
Yeah, why I think this happened is because when we saw something in other company which is maybe more sophisticated and they have all of these automations, workflows, and you think that it's easy applicable and will make your job easier, and you jump into that shiny object. But actually you don't know the steps how to get there. So you just want to skip it and then make a bigger mistake.
That happens, definitely.
Is there like a point where companies actually maybe over automate or over complicate with something, and then they are hurting their pipeline instead of just getting better and generate more pipeline?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like if you just want to do more and not better with automation, that's where the problem happens. Because by definition, automation will do more because you can cover more volume with less fatigue, more or less. But if you want to at the same time scale everything, you're back in the scenario where you're scaling stuff without knowing, and it can be risky. So I agree.
Yeah, so great. Let's discuss a bit about how do you see maybe the whole go-to-market with AI in the next 12 months. What do you think would be like the most biggest change which will happen when it comes to go-to-market positioning, inbound, outbound?
From the big picture perspective, like in general, I think we are, I mentioned this adoption curve. I think we are entering slowly the massive adoption phase. So we went from early adopters to massive adoption now. I think the signal of this are here. You can think about, for example, Clay, which is kind of a core in the middle of this GTM automation revolution. You can see that they are getting a lot of attention from many people and many company size, and not only the cool nerds from last year. So you can see, if you look at this, that the landscape have changed, and for me it's a signal of more adoption. And with more adoption, more people doing this, multiple things will happen. You'll have probably some saturation at some point, like what used to be new and different will become the new norm.
Yeah.
So you have to not only adopt it, but also be innovative with it, I would say. And that's where if we continue the circle, the human strategy and the maturity and the quality of your system and the unique data points that you will leverage are going to make the difference. Because when everybody will have the same standard of automation, saving time, making your salespeople more comfortable, have better data, more volume, manage, etc., won't be the value, because it will be the norm. So the next step will be, okay, what do we do with that, and how do we differentiate? And you're basically back to where we were before.
Exactly.
How do you differentiate from the competition? So I can see that for 2026. And the final point would be what I mentioned earlier as well, like how you will take care of the context of it, because everything will be connected and automated, if the data hygiene is not great, if the context is not updated, you're losing on it for sure. If you're having a super cool agent that says, oh, send an email to this guy, and this guy is not in this job position for 2 years, it's kind of useless. So context will be part of it.
Yeah, there is one sentence which I heard about context is, for example, if you ask a stranger on the road, who am I? They would not know the answer. Maybe they will just try something to say. But if you ask some close, your wife or some member from the family, they know a lot about you and they can give you a bigger story. Though that's pretty similar with these models, where you have to feed them before ask anything for an answer.
Absolutely.
We're getting to the end of this podcast. So as a final question, if any SaaS founder right now is listening you and your conversation and want to start automating some of these revenue processes, what would be like the very first step they should take?
Make sure that this process you want to automate is actually making revenue. That would be the foundation of it. And start with this. Start with someone who knows what they're doing.
Pretty specific advice. Yeah, if you
that's
you make money and it works, now you can automate. If it doesn't make, so there is no point.
Yeah, if you hope that AI will make revenue for you, you're taking it wrong.
Yeah, that's great. So do you think maybe we missed something and you want to add to the listeners?
I mean, I could talk about those things for 2 hours more, but no, I think we were quite complete.
Yeah, okay, that's great. I enjoyed in this episode, so thanks again for accepting the invitation.
My pleasure.
I will share all of your details in the description, so if someone wants to reach out to Jérémy, you can find everything in the description below the video. And if you like the episode, follow the podcast so you don't miss any upcoming conversation with SaaS leaders and people in this industry who are actually shaping this ecosystem. This podcast is called Leaders of Growth and is powered by SmartLeak. I'm Milan Savov. So until next time, keep leading, keep scaling, and keep growing. Bye-bye.